What's going on, folks? Painless. Yeah, another video, surprisingly enough. But my views, you hear this thing about DACA and Trump, things he said in the past about countries and things like that. And by no means am I a supporter of Trump. But many of you have heard me talk about my opinions about illegal immigration in general. Um, I'm totally against people coming over here, breaking the laws of this land in terms of seeking status here. You should come through the proper channels to attain citizenship. I mean, I don't think I think that's reasonable, to support that. Um, my being in Hawaii, it's a lot of immigrants here. I get a heavy dose of Asian influence here. This being the Pacific Rim, I have a couple listeners that have been stationed here that have lived here or do live here, and you know, I I'm over the whole Asian thing here. I really am. I mean, it's old. It's tiresome now. I'm ready to go see new things, and plus, I'm just over it. Um, and there are a lot of illegals here. I've seen some Mexicans here in Hawaii. In Hawaii, there's a big homeless problem. Meth here, you know, is abundant. Coke here is abundant. You have a lot of petty crime here. You don't really have a lot of killings here. You have a lot of petty crime, a lot of people trying to, get their fix. So they'll break in your car and steal shit and take off and sell it just to get a fix. But yeah, it's a big homeless problem. Hawaii really is a shithole. It's a liberal shithole. These people here have been trying to build a a a rail system here, and they've they've under they've under bid it by millions of dollars. The administration here is very incompetent. I wouldn't advise anyone to move to Hawaii. And this is what happens when I find people who move to Hawaii. They come here for about 2 or 3 weeks, and the nostalgia of palm trees or coconut trees and sun and water just it jades them, and they want to move here. And when they do move here, because they haven't done their due diligence, they end up getting here, finding out that they can't survive here. Most people here work 2 or 3 jobs in Hawaii just to get by. Rent is out of this world. I pay, I pay. I'm just going to tell you this. I pay 1840 for a 1 bedroom, 753 square foot apartment. I'm just going to say that. And provided it's just myself, that's very expensive. You know, that's how much I pay here. And most people can't do that. But yeah, Hawaii is a shithole. It's overcrowded. Um, it's you're seeing. I mean, there's a large military presence here. You have all 5 branches: Coast Guard, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps. It's just super crowded. I mean, there's traffic all the damn time, to the point it makes you not even want to go nowhere. The Costco's here are always packed. I mean, I'm talking Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, packed like it's a damn Saturday at 11 a.m. In fact, I remember I was flying to Portland a couple years ago on my way to Seattle, and I sat next to a guy who did I guess he had some hand in the underground piping of one of these Costco's on this island. And he said that particular Costco is the most busiest Costco in the world. And when I think about the times that I've been there, I don't go to that Costco. I mean, it's first off, I spoke about Asians earlier. That when you go to that Costco, you swear you're in Asia somewhere. I put that on everything. You swear you're in Asia somewhere. I mean, everywhere you turn around, you see Asians. Everywhere. And it's super packed, it's crowded. And what happened, a lot of these Asians, especially these Japanese, they 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 don't have any sense of room or space or any situational awareness. They'll just walk and they'll walk right into you because a lot of the Japanese that come here, you have a lot of Japanese tourists that come here, and they're always on their damn phones, and they don't look up when they walk. And you know, it's this stereotype, and I believe it's true. Like Asians cannot drive, especially Asian women. Asian women cannot drive. In fact, I don't know if it's something how they do over there. And I've been to Thailand. I've been to Japan. Um, I've a lot of older Asian people get hit and killed over here because, and I believe it's just how they were raised, maybe in their country. They just walk aimlessly. They don't pay attention to any stop, crosswalk signs, yield signs. They just walk. And therefore, you're guaranteed to have at least 4 or 5 Asians killed every year. Oh, and it's nobody else. Now, one could say there's a lot of Asians, of course, but no, there's a lot of older immigrants here. And it's always the older Chinese, Japanese, mainly the older Chinese that end up getting hit and killed here. And I see it. They just walk aimlessly, with no care in the world, no situational awareness or anything like that. You know, and it's wild, man. I'm just, you know, and I've talked about cultures, like, you know, certain cultures have a propensity for things, and it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say necessarily genetic, I would just say it's cultural, you know. You have this group here called Micronesians. Now, these are the people that the America tested a bomb out in the Pacific in the Bikini Islands. That's where the word bikini comes from, that part of the world. And it messed them up. So what the American government, the federal government said, well, Hawaii, since you're closer, you're going to take care of them. And you have a lot of Micronesians on the West Coast too, but you have a lot here in Hawaii. And I remember there weren't that many Micronesians here. And these guys, I mean, I've lived next to some, and I can attest. I mean, they don't live very clean at all, not at all. And they get drunk and they fight each other, and you know, it's this part of that. They're still trapped in the jungle. They have that jungle, straight off the boat, straight out the jungle mentality. And they have a bad the Micronesians fight the damn Samoans. They fight the Hawaiian. It's like some jungle third world shit out here in Hawaii that people don't see. It's wild. It's crazy. I mean, but for the most part, Hawaii is relatively safe. You know, you got projects over here and things of that nature. And, you know, Hawaii is one of those places that you got localism, and then you got, you know, it's a lot of ignorance here, because a lot of them have never left the island and things like that. And this is what I say about black people, especially black men. You know, someone could be sitting halfway around the world, never met a black person in their life, but thanks to World Star and other media takeout and all these coon ass media outlets that depict black people, for the most part, it's black people in a negative light, and they've already summed up their opinions about black people. You know, I talked about culture. I've said, you know, a lot of people, a lot of cultures come over here to America and they shit on America, you know, and I'm like, what the fuck did you come here for? You know, you want the benefit of being in America and then talk shit about American culture, but you bring your ass over here. And a lot of cultures like to look down, which, you know, this is systematic, look down on the most deprived people here, which are black folks in America. I'm not saying we're the only ones, but we're at the bottom. And they like to look down on us. Oh, my son's in a gang, my son's selling dope. And my thing is, and you have a lot of older immigrants, you know, that don't hang out with those black people. But, you know, the son or daughter wants to hang out with us because they like the hip hop, they like how we dress and talk and all this shit. And then they, you know, I'm like, if your culture is so damn strong as you proclaim it to be, then why the fuck can't your culture keep your son and daughter out of gangs? And I've said about gangs, gangs are started by young men and women that look alike, that share similarities, norms and values, or whatever have you, that bond and stick together. You know? That's why gangs start. Gangs, you got white gangs. I mean, one can look at gangs in New York. All them Irish and Italian and German gangs. Black people didn't start gangs. You got Asian gangs here. You got Polynesian gangs here. You got Filipino gangs here. It's, you know, poverty causes crime in a sense. When you have people who don't have access, they're going to make themselves get access. They're going to make sure they can get some type of access. And that's white. I mean, look at Boston. Look at Boston. All them, what they call it, South Boston. A lot of them crazy Irish white boys out there. Gangs, projects. It's nothing to do with being black. Hispanic gangs, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Panamanian gangs. You know, so that's why I'm real weary. You know, I've talked about this black and brown unity shit. I've said, hey, until black folks get our side of the house squared away, I'm not trying to be in any type of coalition with other groups. And I've come to the determination that a lot of groups are just, or probably worse than white people. I've ran into a lot of ignorant ass Hawaiian, Filipinos over here, ignorant and sound just in way. You have a lot of Portuguese Hawaiians. And, Portuguese, they sailed around the world, enslaving black people. And, they just, I met I'll say this. I could say out of 10 that I know, 2 of them are ignorant as hell. Say if you line up 10 people that are Filipino, Hawaiian, Portuguese, or whatever have you, 2 of them will be racist and ignorant as fuck. And usually these guys have never left the island. They're ignorant, and that's just how it is. But don't be swayed to think that. And this is why I tell brothers about dating. When you date, and this is why I said I made this video maybe 6 months ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rethinking interracial relationships. When you dating a woman, you date, or especially if you marry a woman, you're marrying her damn family. And if you really to deal with her potential racist ass uncles and brothers and whoever in that family, then fuck, go have at it. But you need to do some damn research and get to know that woman and her family. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna have kids and they're gonna be saying stupid ass little slide remarks to your kids. And I've seen that happen. So you brothers out there that's thinking you got you an exotic Blasian chick and all this silly ass, stupid ass, gimmicky shit you be saying, be ready to deal with that. Be ready to sit in a room full of goddamn white male Trump supporters that's your wife's uncles and shit like that. What you gonna kowtow and, yeah, I do agree with what you're saying, but, and then they're going to be looking at you, that you don't want to live like that. You don't want to live like that. But a lot of brothers, a lot of you black men are living like that. You stuck with these women, you got kids with these women, and you dealing with their racist ass fucking relatives. That's a fucked up feeling to have. Oh, Painless man, you're over exaggerating. No, I'm just painting a potential plausible picture. That's not impossible. That is very well possible. So you need to think on that shit before you jump up and marry these women and deal with these women. You want one of your wife's cousins saying, woo, dang, give us some watermelon. You want to deal with some stupid shit like that? Because I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen. So that's why I rethink interracial relationships. Now, I knock one down, don't get me wrong, but as far as wifing, I'm really not into that shit no more. I'm really not wanting to deal with other non-black women for that reason. We talk about all this shit about the gender war between black people. Most times, I'm not saying black women don't have, everybody's got issues, but I get along with a lot of black women. I just avoid the ones that are confrontational. I avoid any woman like that. The problem is a lot of you niggas want to be kings with a peasantry pedigree. Just like I spoke about women. These women want queen status but are peasants. And then you get mad when this black woman don't want to follow you. Women are natural followers. And if you set an example and sound like and know what the fuck you talking about, she gonna follow you. But a lot of you black men out here are not leadership material. You not. And and if black women want to swirl, that's cause for another video. I ain't really gonna get into that. I can't fucking blame them dealing with some of you Negroes out here. I know I can find me a beautiful black female, but I'm just in a place where there aren't a lot of them. A lot of them here are in the military and, doing whatever, married, but there's not a plethora of black women out here in Hawaii. And I'm not really, first off, I'm not thinking about marriage. And that's part of the reason I want to get out of here, because I'm not feeling any of the women here. I mean, I'll talk to them, maybe knock them down. Excuse my language, ladies, but if you listening to me now, you pretty much know I got a level head. But that's about it. I got needs too, but I'm not trying to deal with none of these aged Filipino women out here. I've been there, done that. All right. And plus the women out here, their mentality, a lot of these chicks is like to fucking get drunk and party and be seen and all these tattoos and shit. And I don't like that. I don't like a lot of women. I don't like women with a lot of tattoos. I don't like women that like to fucking drink all the time. I don't like that shit. And that's how a lot of these women are out here. But the real big problem is I don't want to have to fucking deal with, I don't want to be the only black guy around a bunch of fucking Filipino. And I have nothing against Filipino. I have a lot of great Filipino friends, but I don't want to date their fucking cousins or sisters and no shit like that, because of the things I just spoke about earlier. No, I'd rather deal with my own, and that's it. And I've come out of that. And some of y'all may be surprised in me hearing that. But, I'm glad I went through, because, I have special insight in the sense that I've been on the interracial scheme of things. And I'm over it for the most part, especially here in Hawaii. A lot of women here expect and that's another thing. A lot of women here expect black men to be thirsty. And I see why a lot of you military Negroes come over here and you just plumb lose your mind. You see these women out here, all these girls out here, with the long hair and all that. I'm so over that shit. These chicks all look the same to me now. And that was part of my progression, I guess. I'm just over them. I mean, you seen one chick with some long goddamn hair, you seen them all. And I especially a lot of these chicks out here, these females out here, they're attractive, but they're not very smart. Hawaii has a lot of dumb women, dumb, good-looking women. And that, and to me, if your mind, can't stimulate me, then, get booty anywhere. But, but I want you just to chew on that, and that's all I got to say. Peace.